Sahana vavatu Sahana bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant, and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sairam to everyone, we welcome everyone for the satsang on the study circle of Satya Baba Center of Arcadia. So we'll continue the discussion on Gita Vahini, commentary given by Lord Sai Krishna and the Gita given by Krishna. So it is very wonderful to see. So we were discussing on page 24 that we were just diving deep into that, because the whole problem in life is because we go through cycle of births and deaths and all that because of moha, delusion. So that is what Arjuna was stuck with, delusion. He didn't know what is right and what is wrong. So because even he's trying to walk away from the righteous war, instead of facing the evil forces, he was trying to walk away. So the Lord Krishna, to teach him the truth, he was started these things to get rid of the delusion. So there, Lord Swami gave a beautiful thing. To get rid of the delusion at two levels. One is the ordinary delusion, but he is confused. He is the body, mind, and intellect. That's the basic confusion, which is not true. You are the self. So that is what he addresses. Second thing is the out of ordinary delusion. He says he didn't know what is his dharma and what is his not dharma. So that he tried to explain. And the next, when you know your dharma, how do you do your work? How do you do your activity? We are all involved. So these are the three aspects we already touched. So I will again, for things, it may be repetition, to just emphasize the important shlokas all of us should remember. Number 7, that is where the really discussion starts, where Arjuna surrenders to Lord Krishna. I don't know what is good and what is bad. I surrender to you. I am your disciple. It doesn't say I'm your friend or relative. I'm your disciple, and implicitly follow your commands. That is what he says. So then, that is Shloka 7. Make everybody note of that. That is important. That is where the beginning starts. Then Lord Krishna answers, and Swami said the most important shloka for all spiritual seekers is Shloka 11, where he says, because we are all have grief. He says, really, if you are a wise man, you grieve neither for the living or people who are gone. So we all do that sometimes. So that means we are not wise. We need to develop that wisdom. So she says, Asocyan anvasochastvam prajnavadamscha bhashase gathasuna agathasunscha nanusochanti panditaha. You are really pandita. Definition is, he won't grieve. So that is why he was telling him, first be happy. So that is one of the important principles of the Gitas and the scriptures. Then, why you should not have grief? Then he explains by logic. First, Shlokas 12 to 30. So what is Atma and Anatma? Because all of us are confused. What is Atma and Anatma? What is permanent and what is temporary? So first he gives the explanation. This is something what you think dies. It is not that. So, and you existed before. These people whom you think you are going to kill, they were there before, or they will be there after that. So what, something which will be there, why are you worried about it? And he says, this real thing, what it is, Atma, it cannot be cut by weapons, it cannot be burned by fire, it cannot be wet by water, it cannot be dried by the wind. It is always there. What is affected by these elements, fire, weapons, water, and wind, is this body, mind, intellect complex. So you should first discriminate what is going to happen. And he gives a beautiful example. What is the example? Anybody remembers? The way you change your... By the way, just let me digress. Why we should know all this is, a lot of you heard of Swami Chinmayananda, right? So when I was young boy, I was in high school, I used to attend his Jnana Yajna. I attended in Tirupati and in Vijayawada. He used to give a lot of talks, beautiful. He spread the wisdom of Vedanta in the India more and even in the West. So this Swami Shivananda, when he was a young man, he was really a kind of atheist. He didn't question. He questioned God, whether he exists or not. So he, as an investigative journalist, he went to investigate all this. He wanted to expose these yogis in Himalayas. They're all fake. They're trying to cheat people. That is why he went originally. Then he was convinced and became a yogi. So actually he was a disciple of Swami Shivananda in the beginning, Shivananda of Rishikesh. But then Swami Chinmayananda was such a sincere spiritual seeker. He wanted to show me the really great master who is really knows Vedanta. I want to learn. Swami Shivananda is a great saint, but he wants to go. Then he should go to this great saint by name Tapovan. It is there in the Himalayas. There are different stages. One is Gangotri, then at the level is this Tapovana, is very high stage, Uttarakashi, 3 levels, 5,000 feet above, 10,000 and 15,000. So this sage lives, and there is all cold, and you have to beg you for your food. There is nothing like, no restaurant, nothing to eat. So, but he was sincere seeker. He went to Tapovan Maharaj, Swami Chinmayananda, and there he met, and then there they said the condition they met him. They said they give class, Tapovan gives class in the morning and evening on Gita, Upanishads, Mandukya. So in the morning you go, in the evening class you go, you have to repeat what you learned in the morning, the whole thing. If not, you're out. That same afternoon you're out. So it is so particular. So now we are generous. If you didn't learn what it is, that means you are not, you don't care. So you get out. So Swami Chinmayananda, that's how he was so well trained. He used to give a lot of nice stories that. So what I'm telling you is, whenever you are doing the spiritual topic, you need to digest and really assimilate it so that you get the benefit. Otherwise, as Swami said, goes one ear and goes to the other ear. So it needs to digest. Anyway, coming back to the things where what was they talking about? So there's Atma Anatma. Example is like you change the shirt. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinhati naro aparani tada sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. Like the old clothes you leave and put the new one. Similarly, you leave the old body and get the new one. Why do you worry about it? So it's very simple for him. Or he says in the body, Dehino asmin yada dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tada dehantara prapti taltrika paridara. This in the body itself, you have got childhood, youth, middle age, old age. We see every one of us go through that, right? So similarly, one body to changes another. Why are you worried about? So when we don't think it is for him, because he knows the ultimate truth. The Lord Krishna is the great teacher. He's telling. So what is the thing? So
but for most of us, death is the dukkam. That
the greatest fear. Yeah, greatest fear. Everybody has fear. That is why Swami's beautiful message is to Abhayasta. Every god, you see most of the temples, You see the Abhaya Hasta and then Varada Hasta. With one hand, they will be giving the boons to the devotees. That means whatever you want, I will give. Actually, Hanuman, this Ganesha, does he have that? So usually they will have Varada Hasta, give the boons. Another has Abhaya Hasta. Our Swami is unique, double Abhaya Hasta. I don't see any God. With both hands, he is good. Why fear when I'm here? Because fearlessness is one of the most important qualities for a spiritual seeker. That is why Swami Vivekananda said, if at all any message of Vedanta I want, abhi, abhi, abhi. Be fearless, be fearless. Because everybody is fraught with fear. Fear, sometimes when you are, as you're getting old, fear of losing youth. Some beautiful person, fear of losing beauty. And a person who is scholarly, there is somebody who is more scholarly, fear of that. And somebody is rich, fear of losing wealth. And somebody powerful in a position, fear of losing power, fear of losing name and fame. And the ultimate fear is, as you said, fear of death. That's why people want to spend 1 hour in gym, 2.5. So you are giving pain to the body, right? It's not a pleasure to just go on doing sweating. You want so that you want to live a little bit longer. So the fear is you want to not just live. So fear of death is the ultimate. But that is the thing, but the Vedanta says you never die. You are immortal. Sunvanti Visve Amrutasya Putra. That is why he is trying to convince that by all these arguments that like body change clothes or you change in your own body. Similarly, you change. So why do you worry about? That's what Lord Krishna says. Then some people say, even Arjuna, Lord Krishna knows, yeah, what is this Atma? I don't see this Atma. Where is the Atma? Show me. So it is concept. They want people to experience. So Lord Krishna comes down one stage. Even if you don't believe, if you don't understand Atma, because he's teacher, because ultimately that is the highest truth, but people don't believe, I don't see and experience Atma. This body, anything jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuh, this is like a formula. Whatever is born, it is going to die. It doesn't matter whether it is a plant, animal, human being, or anything, bird, beast, anything. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuh, dhruvam janmam tasya. Once you die, again you will be born. So why do you want to worry about it? So just let us be practical. That is one thing. He's using the logic, you should say. First is the truth he is telling, but if you're not convinced, just test this. What is born is going to die. Second is avyakta dini bhutani vyakta madhyani bharata avyakta nidhananyeva tatraka paridevana. You don't know what was. Do you know what you were in the past? You don't know what you are, except some yogis get by vision or Swami. God tells you are that before and you are now this. We can, like Shidi Baba told, seeing that snake, that you are Veerabhadrappa, Channabasappa, you are this, or two goats he saw, they were brothers in previous life. So this great avatar sages, they know our past, present, but most of us, we know this middle portion, not in the past and not the future. So why do you want to worry about? So two logic, the Lord Krishna says. So he convinces always differentiate that. Then he goes to the next stage. He says, what is dharma? Your dharma is to fight, right? Your kshatriya. He is trying to walk away from that. So walking away from your dharma, it is despicable, because he says everybody, as long as you're there, you need to do your dharma, whether whatever work in that home and society and at work, whatever your designated duty, whether you are accountant, lawyer, scientist, doctor, or warrior, or in army, whatever it is, everybody has a chosen duty. So you need to do that. Then he says this guy is walking away. So if you walk away, two things happen. You will get sin because you are walking away from your duty. And second thing is people will laugh at you because he has challenges. This man was a great hero. Now he is walking away. See, it refers to us also in life. There are challenges will come, problems will come. People will challenge you, criticize you, particularly when you are doing something good. There will be challenges, will be even more. So then you should, then easy is people say, wash off. Forget about it. People, that's why even people resign. I heard even the New Zealand Prime Minister, some people like that, when they have too much things, they cannot take it, they will resign. Or they can walk away from it, that is it. Or they can get depressed or get into drugs, alcohol. They're all bad. You should say, just face the challenges with courage and determination. That is what he was telling. Because if you do that, that's beautifully says, if you win the war, if you fight, what happens? If you die in the war, you'll go to Swarga. Because in the war you may win the war or you may die in the war. So if you die in the war, you'll still go to, because you died doing your duty. And if you win the war, you'll enjoy the kingdom, you'll rule the kingdom. Either way, it is good rather than walking away. If you walk away, you'll get sin, as well as people will laugh at you and you will get bad name. So that is why he justifies how is dharma you should follow. And there, and the last sloka is important. Another, sukha dukkhe same kritva labhalabhau jaya jayau tato yuddhaya yujyasvaneviyam papam avapsisi. You won't get sin when you fight. You are fighting, and when you fight, what happens? You will kill people, right? Killing people is sinful, but you won't get sin. How? You take everything, sukha dukkhe same kritva, pleasure and pain, or labha labha, profit and gain, jaya jaya, success and failure. If you take, then even though you are whatever duty we do, we don't get any sins. So that is how he just explains. That is Shloka 30 to 38. Then we discussed last weeks Shloka 38 to 50. We are talking about duty. Every one of us, he says, we have to do duty morning to evening. I said there is nobody without. I often quoted, nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krita. That means nobody, even for a moment, is able to not do work. There is nobody who says, no, I'm just lying down, I'm lazy, I'm sleeping. You are doing work because your lungs are working, heart is working, mind is sometimes thinking, you are dreaming. Those are all also functions. Only time you don't work is you're dead. So there is no more work. But till then, it is working. But how you work, there is a secret, the whole Gita, what is this? Secret of work. How do you do that? The secret of work, that is what because we are all going to work, but how to work and still be not bound by the consequences of action, because we're all bound by the consequences, good, bad, but you still work not bound by the consequences of action. So here also important points. Shloka 40, I will summarize. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even if you do little good thing, like you sing good bhajans, make people happy, or do some service and give some thing, even if you do swalpamaspasya dharmasya, even some little good you do, trayato mahato bhayat, it is there in your spiritual bank balance. It will help you in the future. As Swami says, seva saves you, service will save you. So it is important, even little good you do, that is going to take care of it. So that is why don't hesitate. As I was joking last time, not though we gave up watching movies and eating meat, drink alcohol, what is it? Still we didn't self-realize. But you will never lose that. Whatever good we do, next stage in case in this life, hopefully we'll get self-realization. If you don't get it, next life you will start from there. So at that stage, that is why some people, even as children, they come with such a noble qualities and divine nature, because they were in that stage, and they are in scripture is called yoga brashtas. Almost they are there, but they couldn't attain. So they will start from that level and proceed and get it. So spirituality never goes waste, whatever we do. That is one thing. But how do you do that? This is important. We said 41 shloka. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekehe kurunandana bahushakha anantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam. The cultured mind is one-pointed, whereas uncultured mind is scattered brain. In the name of multitasking, people have no focus. That is why it says attention span. We were joking, the videos people watch before was half an hour. Now most of them, the way, organization, 1 minute, 20 seconds, 1 minute for less than 2 minutes. This after the 2 minutes, people switch off. Sad, because Those days in Treta, they were used to thousands of years used to do tapas, then Dwapara a few hundred, then 10. Now, you not forget about hundreds of years. Just even for not an hour, you can be stilly mind and stilly speech. So that is important. That's why I said, if you want to achieve this goal, you should be avasaya ekehe kurunandana. Bahushaka anantascha buddhayo avyavasayana. It is like bahushaka means scattered brain. And then he says, this work we do, even the good things, in karma kanda we do the yajnas, homas, pujas, with the ulterior motive. They are good. They are no doubt. Instead of wasting, going to movies, you do Satyanarayana, puja, Ganapati home. They're all good. They will have good result. But after a while, they can give you bondage. You want to go to heaven, good. But you should know nistraigunyo bhava Arjuna. So ultimately, our aim should be go beyond these three gunas. Aim for this, where you attain that attributeless, formless Brahman beyond time, space, and causation. And then we talked about this last page. Then it says two important points. Whenever you do karma, so you remember these two slokas, 48 and 50. So actually, I asked the question. She was a good student like Chinmaya. So I asked her at the end of the night, Karthik, what is yoga? So two important points. One is samatvam yoga yuchyate. Whenever you do the action, whatever work you do, you need to have even-mindedness. Take it, everything, these pairs of opposites same. That is yoga, definition of yoga, not breath control or putting head down and feet up and doing all these contortions. Those are all Hatha yoga, Kriya yoga. But real yoga, according to Lord Krishna, Siddha Siddhyau Samo Bhutva Samatvam Yoga Vichyate. You do work with detachment, Sangam Tyaktya, whatever work we do without attachment, Nishkama Karma, and have that balance. And then in 50, this is important. He says, Buddhi yukto jahati ta ubhe sukruta duskrute tasmad yoga yujyasas yoga karma su kaushalam. This is kaushalam, that means perfection in action or dexterity in action, attention to detail in action. Whatever we do, I said the cobbler who does the best pair of shoes is greater than a king who doesn't rule properly their kingdom. So main thing is whatever work you do, you should be absorbed in that one-pointedness. So that means you are absorbed in that and nothing else. That talking about Vyavasaya, Tinka Buddhi, one-pointedness, Vivekananda was an example. So I heard he came to Texas in those days, and they didn't accept the people who are non-white that much. And that too, the southern states, there are more discrimination. He was giving a talk on Vedanta, concentration. These cowboy guys, they were shooting arrows at him, with that BB, some not real gun they shared, distracting. And this guy went on the talk and finished it. They were amazed and then realized and asked his forgiveness. That kind of one-pointed, when you are doing that, you don't know distraction will do that. So he is telling two important things. Definition of yoga is whatever work we do, one is with the detachment, and that is doing it with perfection. Perfection in action and meaning day yoga. So two things everybody has to remember. Samatvam yoga vichyate, yoga karmasu kaushalam. These are the things. One thing, yoga karmasu kaushalam, samatvam yoga vichyate. So you are a good student, Pravina, last time you gave. So you want to add anything which you understood, you want to further discussion? Or anybody else?
I think karmanyavadhikaraste.
There's another thing. Good, Krishna. That means you are attentive. So another important aspect of this, how to do the 10 minutes. This is another famous shloka. All the great masters tell, and our Swami gave a inside meaning. That's why it is very important. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalahetur bhur mate sangostva karmani. So all of us have to do the duty. So you cannot walk away from duty. Inertia, lethargy is not good. Karmanya, you have duty. Karmanyeva adhikaras, you are entitled and it is your duty. Ma phaleshu kadachana. But every action will have results, right? As you sow, you reap. Whatever we do, it will have results. That is action, reaction. But ma phaleshu, that result you dedicate to God. Like you sing well. Oh my God, the people say, oh, he's a great singer. That means you're gone. That results, Lord, you gave the voice, it is in your glory. Same thing we discussing spiritual discourse. I think, oh, I'm giving such a smart thing, then it's gone. He is the one who is the motivator, he is the doer, and he is the listener. Even the service, oh, I gave 200 sandwiches, 200 people, 10 blankets. That means you think it is gone. So he is God, the one who is doing the service, and the person to whom you are doing, and the process of service, all are divine. That is the realization we should have. Triputi. So then it gives. That is why karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Don't have the. That is why most of the, even this master, even Chinmayanda also says, you have no right for action. Results of the action. He says you have right only for to work, not for the results. That's why you read any most of the master Chidbhavananda, Chinmayananda, a lot of people. But Swami gave, because automatically when you do work, automatically you give results, right? You go to work, you work 8 hours, you'll get 8 hours salary. If you get 4 hours, you'll get, naturally you'll get that. But willfully, knowingly these results, I dedicate to God. Mahaphaleshu. That is why Swami says beautifully, Krishna said, Na phaleshu. Na phaleshu means you are not entitled. He says, Mahaphaleshu. That means willfully you dedicate all the fruits of action to that. But ma karma phala heturbhut mate sangostva karmani. Because you are not supposed to expect the results. Asangastva karmani. What is the point in doing? See, I'm not going to give it. I do that and have to give it to somebody else. Like, what is the point in doing? Some people have that attitude. No, this is very bad. Krishna says, you have to act, but not inaction. Inaction is bad. Action with detachment. That is with karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Ma karma phala hetur bhir sangostva karmani. That is another important thing with Krishna. That is why that means you have awareness, attentiveness. We need to, because we have touched so many important points. That is why these are the things. More and more you dive deep into that, we can do that. Then you get that stage of Naitraigunya. Go ahead.
I was going to say that Krishna said it.
Good. That means you are both are having that awareness. Very good.
And so when we say dharma, swadharma, can we look at as a two-pronged thing? One is a universal dharma we all follow, regardless of who we are, telling the truth and be kind, compassion, all those. And then the second one is more of a title-based, as a mom, as a sister, like that.
Yes, that is true. Okay. So dharma is all-compassing word. One, the dharma refers to a body level, depending on the gender. You are a man, you have a certain role in the society to do, and you are a woman. There's a certain role to take care of the children, take care of the family, and all that. That is the dharma depending on the gender. Then dharma depending on the ashrama, that what stage of life you are. Recently I had a meeting with the Spanish people and Portuguese people of South Latin America. There, one man asked, I was surprised. The man asked, oh, Reddy, can you explain what is brahmacharya and grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa? I was amazed. I said, I took time. So that is our scriptures have shown, in the early stage of brahmacharya, that means your student life. You learn from your teacher, in those days, Gurukula. And real brahmacharya means the one who revels in Brahman. That is the ultimate. So, brahmacharya. Next comes the grihastha. Then you get a householder life. You get married. So, dharma is different. When you are a student, your focus is how to be excel in studies, focus on studies. Then, number one, like we all go through studies, you will be a good student in science or medicine or law, whatever. Then, grihastha. Then, once you finish, you become a householder life. You get a job, then you get into the family, children, bring them up. So that is grihastha. And next comes the vanaprastha. Then you have done enough of it. Then you go to recluse. Still don't get bound in the world. After the age of 50, one's supposed to live a kind of detachment. Even husband and wife, they look like more like brothers and sisters rather than anything else, as spiritual companions. Grihastha. So that is a different kind of dharma. Then sannyasa, the thing is completely you lead life of renunciance like a monk. So somebody said, do you have to go through all these 4 stages? That means you just go to brahmacharya, then you go become a householder, then you become a recluse. Not necessary. Some people skip, like Adi Shankara, just he was a young man and then he left everything, became the monk. And there are so many Swami Vivekananda, Brahmananda. So you don't need to go through the stage. You can skip. Like some people are bright in the class. Instead of going from high school, they can go to the college level. You can jump. Similarly, people who have got that thing, they become monks. So that is depending on the ashrama. Then depending upon the varna dharma, that means depending, like you are asking, depending on the aptitude. So there are classified as 4 classes: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So there are some people who are very great thinkers, philosophers, advisors. So they will be always very contemplative, intellectual, scholastic. So that is their duty. So that scientists you can think about, more than higher than scientists is philosophers. Then become Kshatriyas, warriors. They fight for their country, they do their protection. That is then. Next dharma is Vaishyas, people who are businessmen. They commerce. In the world, commerce also you need, so with morality. So there is another. And then Shudra, people, they are unskilled labor, like you need a gardener, you need a plumber, this. So all this is, and this is not depending on your birth. That is the only mistake our Bharat is. Oh, by Brahmin, he's a birth. In general, but it's not necessarily true. That's why Lord Krishna said, Chaturvarnam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagayo. Depending upon your aptitude, you become that. So not because you are born in that. So that is a different dharma. So that you should do that. So these are all depending on the gender, stage of life, and depending on your... But the highest dharma, what is it? Swami said, highest dharma for everybody is Atma Dharma. That you are that ultimate truth. That doesn't have anything to do with gender, that has nothing to do with stage in life, nothing to do with the ashrama. Everybody, whether you, there is like a Prahlad, a 5-year-old boy, he could be a Brahmajnani. So main thing is, that is the highest. You taught what is the dharma? That is the highest dharma, is Atma Dharma. Everything is refers to body, mind, intellect. That is the question we had, right? Anything else? Okay, I think I wanted to start 51. Now looks like we have the Shivratri. They want to practice more bhajans.
There's a comment here.
Yeah, comment?
More than a question, it's a comment.
Read, please.
This is more of a comment that is open to be corrected. In light of yoga being karmasu kaushalam, it is important to realize that multitasking is a myth. It is more of a distraction. If you have multiple abilities and activities, it is better to focus fully on one, complete, and then move ahead to the next. Juggling between tasks keeps us busy but not effective.
Yeah, that's true. That is why whatever you do, that one-pointedness is important. We can always see, even me, sometimes I will be giving a talk or talking, we have a meeting. Suddenly on the computer there's WhatsApp message. I don't want to look at it, pops up. That moment, that half a minute or half few seconds, mind is not focused. That is why people say, did you hear it? They are in the meeting, they didn't hear because their mind is not there. That's why I said, even you have seen professional meetings everywhere, even announcements, people do, oh, after that they will call, when did the Shivaratri celebration? I didn't know. That means during the time their mind was not here. Mind should be in the thing. So that is very important. That is what that person who have made the comment, Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekehe kurunandana, that one-pointedness, anything to achieve in life, any walk of life, they are so one-pointed. That's all, they're absorbed. They don't even know what is happening around. So that is very important to have that one-pointedness. That is the question, right? Yeah, so just this is in the name of multitasking. So, and also our mind gets rattled. So the people, you can always see sometimes you're absorbed in the bhajans or something, or just in the discussion, your mind is thin. If you have too many things going around, mind is really disturbed or agitated. So that is what we need to constantly practice. Okay, we'll discuss next week, because Chiranjeev is anxious for having the Mahashivratri bhajan. He wants to have more bhajan. So he is bhajan ananda. So anyway, everything is ananda, though they give us bhajans give happiness to